Now, yesterday, a squirrel came around where we were working at, trimming trees, and I started talking to it as it's running by, and it stops to listen. And then it ran some more, and then it stopped to listen. So my coworker got to see that I'm actually talking to this squirrel. And this morning, a bird hangs out on the trailer of one of the trucks, and I start talking to it, and it just sits there and just looks at me and listens. And then eventually it flies away. And this bee today is just hanging out, and that's the way nature is. It comes to hang out for a while. At home, I always have bees coming to my home, and one day when the wash company comes and wash and wax my RV, I tell them, I said, look, I had a bird this morning. It landed on my porch, and it just starts talking to me like nobody's business. It's like, blah, 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 blah. It's so funny. So you're talking back, and you two are, the bird and me are having a conversation. And later the bees came, different bees. And I tell the bees, there's nothing here for you. There's nothing. Go away. I have no flowers, no nothing. And so I tell my neighbor, and my neighbor says, oh, they love you. So here we go. Today is Thursday, and this bee's now been hanging out in my work truck for about, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's just inspecting every little increment of the seat. I don't know, maybe somebody had sugar on them years ago, and so then they're just want to inspect leftovers. I don't know. So I don't know, when bees, they come to talk to you, it's typically a message from the spirit realm, or it's going to come in and die, because critters know when they're going to die. It's going to die, or it's going to have babies. But I don't think it's a female. Right now it's starting to sprinkle. And you know that solar eclipse is on the 11th. So now it's telling me to be prepared. Now changes are going to come. And so I Googled, it's also Ramadan day. So I Googled, well, what do you eat on Ramadan? Because it's fasting. And it said that you can have juice as long as there's no sugar and no caffeine. And it did recommend carrot juice. So I will go to the store this weekend, and so that I can do fasting, because whether you like it or not, energies are going to change when that solar eclipse happens. That's what it's all about. It's kind of like Mother Nature and Father Time. Mother Nature says, my babies, which are humans and whatnot, are misbehaving. So if you're misbehaving, Mother Nature is going to come in and change that. Which then, that's how you get hurricanes and tidal waves and all that kind of stuff, right? And solar eclipses and whatnot. So yeah, the best thing to do is accept it and tell it, thank you for bringing me a solar eclipse. You must give gratitude. At the same time, you are fasting. When I was going through cancer treatments, chemo and radiation, I didn't eat for almost 4 months. You can't eat. That is no water, no nothing. And you lose a lot of weight. So yeah, fasting is pretty easy when you're used to it. So that was the third time in my life fasting. And I've lost 3 times in my life. I have lost almost 60 pounds in 5 months. I know how to get rid of and collect weight. It's just the way of nature intended it to be. And I will be getting some juice. And because you gotta have something in your job. You can't walk around with no water, no nothing. So you're not even supposed to drink water for 20 or however long it is. From sun up to sundown. That's not 24 hours, but you have no nutrients whatsoever. But you can't have juice. So this bee has been inspecting. We're calling her Henrietta. This Henrietta has been inspecting the passenger seat in my work truck. So maybe it's I don't know, it's not really too happy. And there's no legs missing, there's no wings missing, so there's nothing missing. But maybe it's time. Who knows? But yes, there's a solar eclipse coming, and that's maybe what it's trying to tell me. Because remember, the spirit realm sends you messages through symbologies and metaphors. Symbologies are pictures. Metaphors are messages that are words. So you have to learn telepathy, and then you can speak to the critter world. Critters are plants and ants and deers and bees. Those are all critters. The octopus, it's a critter. You know, think about, you know, the Clampets. You got Granny, you got Mary Ellen. She liked the critters. So, yeah, it's the critters. As long as the critters are nice to you, you're nice to them, and vice versa. And that's the way life is. And let's see how long this bee decides it wants to keep hanging out. Maybe it's cold. Maybe it's old and it wants to come inside to get away from the weather. I don't know, but I got the window wide open so it can fly away. Alright, it's about lunchtime, folks. And life is love. Love is life. Blessings from Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, DDIB, PhD. And if you like my content, like, share, and subscribe. Isn't life grand? And thank you for your support.